Welcome to another episode of Dad Up, everyone. Thank you guys very much for joining me. I'm excited. I just got connected with this individual. I like what he's doing. I like what he represents, and I'm excited to talk to him about it a little bit more and also hear about his journey because I don't know a whole lot about his background. So I want to get to know him a little bit, just as much as you do. But my good friend Blake McCoy has joined me on Dad Up. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having
absolutely.
me.
Yeah, I know you're constantly on the move. That's why you're in your car, and that's all
That's
good.
it, man.
That's all good.
Yeah,
Constantly on the move. I love it. Well, let's
always.
dive right in, dude. Because you and I, like I said, we just recently got connected, and I'd like to get to know you
Yeah.
a little bit better. So, for my listeners, viewers, all that who don't know who you are, let's talk a little bit about your journey, kind of how you grew up, and how you got into what you're doing now. And then also, this is a parenting podcast, so I want to know about your family as well.
Yeah, no, of course. Man, so I'm born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, I've always loved cars. I'm a big car guy. And then it kind of transitioned into fitness. So like my whole life, worked crazy hard jobs, construction, maintenance, busting up concrete, everything. And then got kind of into a little bit of the fitness, like GNC, worked in the GNC. And then I got into like the car business and worked in the car business for quite some time. But during kind of that journey, like ever since I was young, I kind of struggled with just kind of being overweight. It was just hard for me. Kids in school would kind of tease me. And I kind of came to a point around like, man, I'll say like end of middle school where I kind of like had to make a change. I was like, I'm sick of this. I don't like how I feel. And then, man, just transitioned and changed my whole life. Started working out daily. My dad got me a weight set and I just started working out. I would go to the gyms. I would just kind of pick and read kind of stuff every single day because once I started doing it, I started feeling really good. My body felt great. I started to see changes. So that's, I think that's the key for like keeping people motivated once you start seeing and feeling changes. And then, man, ever since then, I was always about working out. I wouldn't miss it every single day. I got addicted to it because I started to see my body change. And then, man, I've been with my wife right now, but she was my girlfriend. We've been together since we were about 17, and she knew I love fitness. And then one day she's like, "Look, I think you need to pursue like going into like personal training. You know so much. You're very knowledgeable, And that's when I was in the car business, so I kind of took a risk, and I was like, "Look, I'm just gonna leave and like go get my certification and like work in this gym." Because a gentleman approached me in the gym. He's like, "Dude, you're young, man. I see what you're doing. You know a lot about form and stuff. I'd like for you to come work at my gym." And I just took a risk and I quit the business and started working for this guy. And it was just a small gym downtown, and I managed it for him, more the personal training company, and then just started training people every single day. So I had a good knowledge, a background because I was reading like anatomy books. I was talking to every guy in the gym who kind of was in good shape, but actually had good form, and they actually knew what they were talking about. So I was reading all this stuff at like a young age. So I was probably like 16, 17, kind of getting into the anatomy, like how the body works and stuff like that. And then, man, after that, I worked in so many gyms and training companies. I learned so much. I was barely making any money at all, but the knowledge and everything I was getting from it benefited me. Um, and then one day I was actually in one of the gyms I was managing and training, and they want you to sell a ton of personal training. That's like the goal.
Right.
And for me, so everyone would come see me. I'd see like 10, 15 people a day. They'd see the manager. I'd take them through a workout and everything. And then I had trainers to pass them on to. So when someone would come in, I'd take them through a workout. And then I'm like, okay, that's awesome. You want to pursue personal training. I'll get you set up with this person. They didn't want to work with anyone but me. So I'm like, well, I can't really do that because I'm the manager. I kind of run it. And it kind of happened every single day. And after a while, I was like, maybe I should really just, focus on this. That's really important. And a gentleman in the gym who kind of came up to me, and I was talking to him periodically because I was big into cars. I saw his car, so we would talk. And man, I just kind of started helping him out. And I was like, look, man, I was like, if you just move your feet here, you'll probably feel the muscle more in your legs. And he was like, wow, thanks so much for that. And we would just see each other every day. And then he kind of told me, he's like, man, kind of what's your goal? Like, what do you want to do? I said, man, yeah, I like to do like mobile personal training because no one really did that in Jax that I knew of that was successful at it, where you go to people's houses, more high end. And he was like, look, I need to lose about 20 pounds. How long will this take? I said, maybe 30 days if you do the right things. So at that time, I worked from 8 to 8, 8 in the morning till 8 p.m. at night. He was like, all right, I want you to meet me here every day at 5 a.m. I was like, 5 a.m.? He goes, yep, you meet me here every day at 5 a.m. You help me lose this weight. I'll give you $100 for every pound you make me lose. That's a ton of money to me. I'm making like under $1,000 a month. I was like, this is awesome. So every single day I met him there at 5 a.m. and helped this guy and worked out with him. And him and I got pretty close. And then, man, after a while, I'm like, is this real? Can I like trust him? Like, is it going to work out? Is he really going to like pay me? Because I noticed he started to change a lot. And man, towards the last bit of this, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know if I'm going to continue with this. Where am I going? And one day he's like, dude, I hit my goal. He's like, I want you to follow me out to my car. Followed him out to his car. He's like, look, I'm going to help you. You've helped me tremendously. And look, you're good at what you do. I think you should pursue the mobile personal training. And he's like, I want you to walk in and quit. I was like, what? Okay. Well, I walked in and quit. My gut told me and I trusted him. And by the time I got back out, he was a very successful businessman, sold several companies. I had some of the top doctors and business owners texting me literally as I got back outside. So that's kind of how it started, how I
Right.
started my business, in a small, quick description. So, man, I've been doing it for about 14 years. I love it. I see about anywhere between 12 to 15 people a day, Monday through Friday. I'm up about 3:45, 4 a.m. And then, man, I work till about 6:30 now, but I used to work till about 3:30 till 8 p.m. And then, my wife and I, when we had my daughter, I had to scale back the work until 8:30 at night. Being a parent, man, is really important. And just knowing that, like, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to be home, I got to help you and stuff like that. So I scaled back that a little bit, of getting home too late, but I still to this day work Monday through Saturday. And I see a lot of people, man, from elderly professional athletes, just moms. I've helped tons of kids through sports and stuff like that, man. So I have a big background of pretty much training, anyone. And just because I've done it for over, let's see, my business I've had for about 13, 14 years, and I've been training for about 17, 18. So
Hmm.
good bit of background, man.
Wow. And you have how many kids now?
So my daughter is 6, and then we just had my son. He's about 6 months right now, and he's on the move. He's trying to crawl. Well, he's already crawling. He's been crawling for a little while, but he's trying to stand up and just run. He's definitely gonna be working out very soon. I'll tell you that. So it's fun, man. He's a blessing. So it's awesome to have a boy and a girl. We're lucky, man.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. That's
there's
awesome.
nothing like.
Now, so you really started this journey just based on your own personal desire to change. Um,
I did,
and
man. It kind of involved, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that happens to a lot of us, when we go through these these phases in our lives, regardless of how old we are or how young we are.
Right, right.
We hit these walls where we say something has to change, and
Yeah,
that happens to a lot of us, and for you, it happened at a very young age, which is pretty remarkable because kids at that age don't really understand what they have to do to make those changes, and you
exactly.
you knew something had to change.
Yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah,
and
man. It was super important.
it influenced by not just the bullying you said, but was it influenced by parents? Was it just something that you really just felt in your heart that you had to do?
Man, it was just kind of something I felt like I had to do. I wasn't feeling good. That was the thing every day. I wasn't comfortable the clothes I was wearing and stuff. And just, man, I noticed like a couple of my buddies, like they could do some push-ups. I couldn't do them. I remember
Mm,
hanging out at their house and stuff. I had so many friends and stuff, but I kind of noticed, I just don't feel good. And then, man, I just started playing basketball. I started lifting weights. And man, once I started to feel that big change and I started to see some changes, because it doesn't take long if you stay consistent. Consistency is the most important thing to pretty much
hmm.
everything in life, not just fitness. You got to be consistent with everything. So that was a big part of it, and that's to this day I'm still consistent every single day. My food, nutrition, everything like that. My workouts are key because it puts you in a better mood. You feel great. Like there's pros and cons to kind of everything in life. The only bad thing of kind of working out is if you do it incorrectly or lift too heavy, or you're doing something you shouldn't do because of an injury. But man, I mean, it's one of the most important things people should do. I mean, health is the real wealth. If you don't
Right.
take care of yourself, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
$1 billion or whatever, but if you're unhealthy and you can't move from, your couch to the living room, you got an issue. I mean, that should be a real wake up call for a lot of
Yeah.
people, because when you start taking care of yourself, everything's better in your life. How you feel, your clothes, just in general, your mood. So that's a huge thing, man. I think that was the biggest part for me. Um,
And
so
I think you mentioned something there about, health is wealth. I think when you're a parent, it's really important because for
oh my
you,
gosh.
I'm a parent of two boys. My boys are
Yeah,
older. They're both adults now, but I mean, you
yeah,
have a daughter and you
yeah,
wanna enjoy that moment someday of walking her down the
right.
aisle, right? You want to be able to
A
enjoy
hundred
that.
percent.
And a lot of people don't take care of themselves and they find themselves in situations where they're have medical issues, a lot of
Yeah,
sickness, on a lot of
yeah.
medications, not able to keep up. And you said you're a little guy who's wanting to go all over the place right now. I mean, if you weren't in the best of shape or if you weren't in at least decent shape, just having to keep up with him when he starts to hit that 1 year old, 2 year old mark where he's just running. Um,
Moving on the go.
right,
It's huge. I mean, to this day, like my daughter like knows what I do. Like we work out all the time. She'll do lunges with me, push-ups. Like she's super fit already and she knows it. She tells everyone, even her friends, like, do you work out? It's good for you. It makes you healthy, it makes you strong. So like, man, that's just like our lifestyle. Like my wife's super active. She works out all the time and she's running and chasing the kids too. So you're getting that type of movement, which is key. So you got to just take care of yourself, and the fact that I can see it in my daughter already that she's making it a priority. Like we eat really clean foods, we drink water, we don't drink any, the bad preservative stuff or anything like that. And we just try and stay moving, man. We're always out walking, you either move it or you lose it. That's
right.
the key. Our bodies aren't meant to sit all day. So, getting those steps in and just getting out, getting the fresh air. So that's a key for us. Everyone in our neighborhood will see us. They're like, oh my gosh, they're out every single day. But that's the key, man. I mean, it's just staying active and embracing that in your kids, not making it like a chore or anything, but like, hey, this is like healthy, this is good to do. And every single day she's all about it. So I'm sure little man, which is he's doing little pull-ups every day on our couch just trying to pull himself up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
man, it's just
awesome.
a big part of our household. So we love it.
That's awesome. I think for you as a parent, though, let me ask you this because
Yeah,
we know kids, especially when they're at school. Your daughter goes to school and all that, and when they're at
yeah,
school and they get influenced by other things around them, whether it's the foods that other kids are eating or the treats that the parents bring into the classroom, things like that. We don't want to neglect our kids of those types of things every
yeah.
once in a while, and for you, you'd mentioned, you guys are all real big about eating healthy and all that. How do you monitor that, or how do you manage that discipline with your daughter?
Man, she kind of just knows because we've let her have, like just my wife and I will have, a day where we want to have like, enjoy a burger, pizza, or this or that, or like have a glass of wine and stuff. And like she'll have it where she'll want a cookie or something like that. But she knows if she has too much or has something, she doesn't feel good. She's known that ever since. So like when she goes out to like, a little birthday party or at school, she really will avoid, the treats that don't make her feel good because she knows
Mm,
it. So she'll or she may eat a little bit of it or something like that. But she just kind of knows from experience, like, hey, I had a cookie before, it made my stomach hurt. It was a lot of sugar, that's been a big part. She just kind of picked up on it really quick. We kind of let her like, hey, enjoy, you want this, you want that. But certain things don't agree with her just because, you know, she's always eaten pretty clean.
right,
Same thing with juices. She never had a juice, because all the bad sugars and the preservatives, a lot of people don't understand. There's 50, 60, 70 ingredients in some of these things that they can't even pronounce.
right.
So and I think that's being like, you know, everyone's kind of eye opening now, like how many bad preservatives and ingredients are in things, that's making people not feel good. You eat something healthy, you feel good. You eat something bad, you kind of don't feel good, you feel full. So I think that was a big part of her knowing, like, hey, like, okay, that kind of made my stomach hurt. I'm going to stay away from the sweets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that's so important, and I think it's true that with the preservatives and stuff that are out there, I think that's probably I believe that a lot of the preservatives that are in our foods over the last 20, 30 years have really attributed to some of the complications that our kids go through, whether it's
Right.
you know things with varying degrees of autism.
Right.
You got the red dyes, that or the
Yeah.
peanut
Red 40.
allergies, or the
Yeah.
the glucose. I mean the lactose intolerant kind of issues. Those kind of
Mhm.
things I think are all kind of stemmed from various preservatives and stuff that are in our foods and in our drinks. And it's
Right.
important to learn that stuff and know that what you put in your body is something that's gonna either help you survive or help you die. And
Exactly, man.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so
No,
that's
so
cool.
key.
That's cool.
Yeah, so key. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that
Really important.
for me, I went on this journey myself over the last year where I started early last year. I've always been an avid runner. I've ran marathons and things like that, but I've never really taken
That's
care of
awesome.
myself, and I've never done a whole lot of running. I've just done enough
Right.
to maintain a decent weight. But this last year,
Right.
I noticed early last year, 2024. I was doing a lot of working out and stuff, but I wasn't losing any weight and I was still
Right.
pretty heavy. I was actually 90 pounds overweight. And
Wow.
I went on this journey of like, okay, I'm just going to go hard with my running. I wanted to get cardio going, and I'm going to go hard with my running. I wanted to run 1,000 miles last year. That was my goal for 2024 is 1,000 miles. I was going to do a few marathons, try to get myself back in shape. And in just a little over a year, I've lost almost 90 pounds, and it was just
Man, that's
from the
awesome.
running. But I also did incorporate weights as well. I mean, a couple days a week I did work out with weights, either bands or kettlebell, things like that. But the other 4 days I was working out. One day I took off for rest. The other 4 days I was doing nothing but running. And yeah, and so it's helped
That's
me.
awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it helped me change. And you're right. I saw the changes happening. It just encouraged me to keep going. It motivated me to keep going. It helped me to want to do more. And I not only went from my goal of 1,000 miles, I ended up running almost 1,300 miles because of all the running I was
Man.
doing. And so this year I've increased it now. My goal this year is 1,500 miles is what I'm going to do. And I've already ran a couple marathons. I've got a couple half marathons under my
Wow.
belt. And I'll run my first ultra marathon in July, 52 miles, and my first triathlon towards the end of the year. But it's all from just seeing the changes that I've made in myself, and it has encouraged. My boys are old. My older son, he's like you. If he could live at the gym, he would. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
live at the
Yeah.
gym. So he's
Right.
very big about taking care of his body, what he puts in his body, how much he works out. So he's very big in that. My younger son he doesn't mind working out, but he's not real super big into it. But I think what I've done with my life over the last year has really transformed him in that it's encouraged him to start working out. And he just this last month, he just did his very first 10K just from watching
Man.
me and all the stuff I was doing. He's like, I think I want to do a 10K. And so my
Wow.
influence as a parent, uh, my point in telling you this, my influence as a parent from the stuff I was doing has influenced him to really want to change his life. No different than you and the stuff that you're
Yeah.
doing has encouraged your daughter and soon your son to want to do the same things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Congrats to you. That's great, man. And you
Yeah.
you mentioned, I mean, you've done a lot, and you mentioned bands and stuff. I didn't hit on this subject yet, but during the process of me, just training people over the years, I came up with a really cool invention, and it's actually
Yeah.
another company of mine. It's called Total Body Band. I was actually training a client one day, and bands are so important. I've always kind of had bands, with every type of training that I've done with people, just because it's key. When you go to rehab or you injure yourself through PT or rehab, the first thing they put you on are bands, to build your stabilizer muscles, and they're key for you. I mean, all the athletes, so many celebrities, everyone, it's just incorporating to their workouts because it helps all those minor muscles. So I was having a gentleman do lateral walks, like low lateral walks with a band
Hmm.
around his ankle. and dumbbells in his hand, and I was having him do step, squat, press, and I was like, I've never seen a band that could do everything at once, that's portable, because I bring all the equipment to people's houses and everything, so I have to get creative where I go, because sometimes there's not a gym, they don't have a bench or anything, so I've had to do that for the amount of years. So just getting creative. And man, that day I made a prototype. I went up to Dick's and I bought a bunch of resistance bands, and my wife kind of helped me put it together. And man, it just kind of happened. And during the time I was working out a gentleman who just got out of the NFL. His name was Montel Owens, very talented guy. And we'd work out every day together. And one day I was like, man, you should come over to my house. I want to show you this, idea that I have. And I mean, it's funny, like, cause like even my wife like came up with the name of it, like Total Body Band, before we even did anything with it. And I had him put it on, and he kind of did all these football moves, because he played like 10 years in the NFL. He was a Pro Bowler, he's a phenomenal athlete, but also he's a talented architect. So I'm like, man, could we do something here? And I'm like, if anyone could help build it and orchestrate it. I mean, I made it and it worked, but it looked terrible. So I'm like, man, if anyone can make it look good, but you could do every type of movement, because there's never been a product that you can take on the go with you that can hit every single category of health and fitness, from Pilates, or Pilates reformers like $10,000. Some of them
Right.
maybe a little less. Our product's $55. You can do every single Pilates move, boxing. There's several NFL teams using them, several professional athletes using them. Just for elderly people, sitting up and sitting down with resistance bands. There's over a few hundred exercises you can do, and it weighs less than a pound.
Mm.
So, and I'm blessed, man. I have two other good partners, Melody and Tony, who've helped tremendously. It's a team effort. It wouldn't be where it is now without help. But it's cool to see something like, over the years, I made a note years and years ago training that I'm like, I would love to just come up with something that could help people all over the world. And it's cool to see messages from people who've reached out to our social media or email, just saying, hey, this has helped me tremendously. I can take it traveling with me. It's been a great help for, my spinal rehab, my ACL and everything like that. So it's cool to see something that's like come to life that I mentioned years and years ago. I wrote in my notepad in my email to myself. So that's been a cool thing. Just helping people, man, is awesome. I mean, I do that every single day, from all these type of people and clients that I train. So I'm helping their day get better, because I can see their moods get better when I leave. If they're stressed, you can kind of tell if someone's in a bad mood. But every time after a workout, people feel great and the rest of their day's better. So having the product helping people, all over the world is really cool. So just when you mentioned bands, I just wanted to bring that up. I
Total
forgot to
Body
mention it
Band.
earlier.
Yeah, I think I saw that on your
Yeah,
social media. A really
yeah,
cool device. It hooks up between your calves, and then it
yeah,
stretches up where you can use it with your hands and your legs and do all
yeah,
kinds of different movements, which is really cool. Actually, I think I'm going to pick it up myself, because it would actually help out with not only me with trying to do some of the core exercises that I need to do, but also with my legs for my running as well. So, I
yeah.
know,
So important.
yeah, I noticed
So
there's a
important.
lot of core exercises that can be done with that thing as well. So that's
Huge,
cool.
man. Yeah, if we're running, like, you got to think, we walk all day forwards. We never walk backwards. We never walk lateral. So like your adductors, your glute medius, those are some of the most important muscles in the body, and we never use them. So if you actually like challenge your body, the tiniest muscles in the body are the most important. Like for a lot of people don't understand, who have like bad posture, your rhomboids in your upper back, those are the weakest muscles in your upper body. And that's what keeps our posture straight and our back straight. A lot of people have like rotator or labrum,
Mhm.
injuries. Is because the posture, because there's not a lot of extra. We're never like pulling anything high row or anything like that and have good posture. Everything we do is forward. Our phone, if you're brushing your teeth, everything is anterior. So using your anterior delts, nothing posterior in your rhomboids. Same thing with the lower body. We never walk lateral or backwards. It's always forward. So training those muscles and adding a resistance band to it is so key, especially for your hips and everything, man. It's one of the best things. I mean, we have people all over. We have 20-minute workouts we made. So you can take it anywhere in the world with you. You could do exercises in the chair. We have people who are paralyzed from the waist down. They can't do certain resistance band exercises because it's too much tension. Ours attaches to them, so they're allowed to do it. We have one of the largest physical therapy companies who sell our product as well. It's awesome. It's Performance Health, and then it's sold on Walmart, sold on a bunch of uh, retailers and sites online, and people just really gravitated towards it because it's unique, it's different. It's pretty much a portable gym that's $55 and doesn't cost you thousands of dollars, and you can travel with it. So
Right.
you would love it, and I'm telling you, I mean, we have so much stuff on our Instagram. I kind of share a lot. My business partners, Tony and Melody, they have a big following, a couple 100,000 between each of them, so they share it all the time, and it's cool to just see other people who tag it and share it, to see exercises we haven't even seen yet.
Right.
So that's been a cool process, man. It's a great product. You would love it, especially
That's
for everything
cool.
you're doing.
Yeah, I think especially with my hip flexors, because I have to continue to strengthen those things to increase my speed at work with my running. So, and hip flexors really help with that. So definitely, I'm definitely going to pick that up. I really am.
Yeah.
That's
No,
cool.
it's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
of
And
course.
is it something that your kids can use too?
Oh,
Is
my
it
daughter uses it all the time. I show you. I mean, my daughter will do squat presses with it, lateral walks with bicep curls. We have like a cool pink color, so she loves using the pink one. And her and I have done little workouts together with it. My wife will do it with her. I mean, it's cool, man. Just kind of keeping it on in the house. Like, she'll just go pick it up, put it right on, and she'll do stuff with it. So it's cool, man. It's a blessing. I'm super blessed to just see all this like come to life, man. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're talking about being busy. You're talking about always on the road and stuff like that. How do you balance the time with your family? I mean, that's important. Obviously,
It
you
it's
feel it's important, and I can tell you feel it's important. How do you balance that time with
uh,
your family?
Man, so I stay super busy between both my businesses, but every single day, no matter what, every morning call, FaceTime, like that's an important thing to see my son, my daughter, talk to her before school, when she's picked up from school, call, talk, when I get home. That's why I changed my schedule to come home and make sure I see them before bedtime, spend time with them, be there. And then Sunday is my day, like that's my family day. I take off. I don't do anything with work, so that they're my attention the whole day. So that's really an important time. And then Saturday I'll work like half days. I kind of come home and my daughter and I'll either we'll go for a bike. She'll hop on a bike. I'll go for a run with her. She'll do the same thing. And then we usually now, since with the baby, we'll go on like big family walks, or I'll take him. Because my wife's big into working out too, so I'll take care of the kids so she can work out, have her time too. So I'm with them, but it's it's good, man. Sundays definitely our day. I try to not let anything interrupt that, just because I'm in the process of building my businesses and stuff like that. But I still
Mhm.
make priority every single day. Call them, FaceTime, stop at home if I can, pick my daughter up from school. So, yeah, man,
That's
try and do
cool.
the best I can, and just always be there in those little important times. Like if there's like an event, I'm like, all right, I have to. But long time ago, me canceling people, I'm just not like that. I have a crazy work ethic of I've worked 80, 100-hour weeks for the past 14 years. I've been up at 3:30 in the morning, work till 8:30. I work out every day. I eat clean. Like I'm very structured, and I just have that, work ethic. And, I'm not a big excuse person, so I just don't make excuses. So now seeing how important it is to be with the kids and seeing, they grow up so quick. I mean, I see my
Mhm.
daughter now, she's 7 this year. So seeing now spending as much time as I can with my son too, as he's in these little phases of stuff. You come home and the house is crazy with toys and everything, and one day we're gonna miss it,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
trying to focus on that as much as I can, man. And my wife does an amazing job being home because it's a crazy environment. We need 2 kids and a little baby running everywhere, so she's awesome, man. She's like the key. And hey, if it really wasn't for her, I would have never got into fitness, because she was the one that kind of pushed me into it. So
Mm.
um, I have a
That's
big
cool.
appreciation and thanks, so much to her. So for as much as she does still to this day, helping me all the time. So
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, don't blink. It's true. You can't blink.
yeah,
My boys are 25 and 23, and it's crazy because I think back to I can remember the day that we brought them home, and they're off
yeah,
doing their own thing now, So
yeah,
it is a fast time, and that's why you want to make sure you spend as much time as you can with them, while you're still
yeah,
trying to put food on the table
yeah.
and a roof
Build.
over their head, right?
That's it, man.
And live your dream as well, but also
Yeah,
helping them develop that bond and relationship with you. So
right.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
Really important.
Well, let me ask you this, Blake. If my listeners or viewers want to look you up, learn a little bit more about you, maybe check out Total Body Band, what
Yeah.
best places for them to do all that stuff?
Man, I would check out totalbodyband.com. And then the Instagram is the Total Body Band. That's kind of where you'll see a big, all the information about it, a bio about me of kind of, what I've done, and what I do currently with, just mobile personal training of people all over the town. And then, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Just totalbodyband.com, and then you can even like go to Google and you'll kind of like see stuff about me, stuff like that, and just kind of getting out there and just kind of explaining my story more now, because a lot of people have been intrigued because the mobile aspect is been so different. Not a lot of people will do it because you're driving so much. So when I meet
Mhm.
people, they're like, man, you're seeing this many people a day, you're driving all over. But like I said, if I didn't do that, I'd never come up with the idea of the band. So everything is meant to happen for a reason. But yeah, everyone should just check out that, and it kind of gives a cool backstory, and you'll see everything pretty much from the website and the social media.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll make sure
Yeah,
that definitely in the show notes, I'll put your social media handles in there as well.
yeah,
But that's awesome. Blake, thanks for being on, brother. Thanks for sharing your story, your journey. I'm looking forward to continuing our friendship. And one of these
yeah,
days,
man.
if you're ever out in California or if I'm ever in Jacksonville, I'll make sure to look you up.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for having me on, man. This was a blast.
Yeah, awesome. Listen, guys, it's been another episode of Dad Up. I want to thank my good friend Blake McCoy for being on. Make sure you guys go check out his website. It's in the link show notes below. You can check that out there. And if you are not yet subscribed to my show, please make sure you do that so you don't miss any of the awesome guests that I have on each and every week. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode of Dad Up. Wow, another amazing episode in the books. So much was shared, and I'm truly grateful my guest was able to pour into you to help you elevate your dad game and really dad up. Make sure you bang that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're here, please don't forget to leave me a rating and a review. I always appreciate the feedback. And one last thing, don't forget, your role as a dad is one of the most important roles you have. So if you need a little help or have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on my website at daduptribe.com or at my Instagram page at Dad Up Podcast. Until next time, everyone, Dad Up.